We all have a moment in our lives we'll never forget. A moment that completely changes our life's trajectory. For me, it was not the blistering hot day in Afghanistan on April 10, 2012, when I dropped my backpack and inadvertently set off an IED intended for a truck. It was not that day that nearly killed me and left me seriously injured, although I will say that day was a really bad day at the office. No. My moment came some 18 months later, alone in my in-laws' bedroom on a small Texas ranch. As I sat on the edge of the bed, I looked at a young soldier staring back at me from a small sterling silver picture frame. Sporting a bright orange baseball hat and a toothpaste ad-worthy smile, the soldier stood proudly in uniform, flanked by his squad, grinning in the Afghan sun. That soldier was me, U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Travis Mills of the 82nd Airborne Division. The picture had been taken only 2 years earlier, but it might as well have been another lifetime. I was no longer that man in the image, and would never be again. That was the moment I felt helpless, enraged, despondent, afraid, all at once. And we all have those moments. I had a hard realization. My military days were over, and I would never wear a uniform again. I would never give orders to my men again. I would not fight for my country again. I was no longer Staff Sergeant Travis Mills serving on his third tour of duty in Afghanistan. In the Army, everything had been laid out for me. There was always a clear mission and a thorough strategy to execute it. I always knew what I needed to do and how to get it done. Now, it was just all so unknown. I know I'm not supposed to admit this, especially as a former member of the 82nd Airborne, but my eyes welled up. I blubbered between deep gulps of air, trying to catch my breath. Luckily, my wife, Kelsey, walked in at that moment. I used what was left of my right arm to wipe my eyes as she sat down next to me. As soon as she saw my blotchy face, she looked into my eyes and, rubbing my back, reassured me, "Everything is going to be okay. We have each other, and you know we can get through anything. It's all going to be fine." She didn't say much else. She didn't have to. Just being there helped. I knew she was right. Kelsey and my daughter had been with me every step of the way while I recovered at Walter Reed Army Medical Center. My parents, her parents, and my extended family were also so supportive. My fellow soldiers had my back, and still do. I knew I was one of the lucky ones. There were plenty of fellow soldiers who didn't get to go home. There were others who made it, but didn't have the kind of support that I had. Some still carried the weight of war, which seemed nearly impossible to get past. In that moment, in Kelsey's arms, I made the conscious decision not to let the enemy win. I had to grieve for that person in that picture, or I couldn't move forward. I thought, okay, I am no longer that Travis. That's the old Travis. That whiteboard has been erased. I have a pen in my hand, and I can totally start anew.